selfie que te ve bien cabrón. Brindamos todas las copas, que se jode el trabajo. Coño, tírate un selfie que te ve 1,000,000. No hay trabajo en la mañana, un bendición. Baby, put your favorite dress on. And maybe we can skip and go right to the sequel. Prende Philly Blunt, take a hit.
Here we go. Suing. Suing. Uh-oh. To the left. Oh my God. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Yo, yo, yo. Whoop, whoop. And we're rolling. What up? Yo, 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 everyone. Here I am, freshly back from Chile, and check out what I got. A little surprise for Leonardo. It says Chile on it. And what's in it? It's a bento box to store all his nutrition, okay? To store all his nutrition, because he's going to be out running and grooving, and it's got a flamingo in there. I mean, I had to get him a flamingo when I saw this. Anyways, pretty cool. That's the goods I brought home, and a banner to put on the wall. But I want to give you guys the details. I mean, even the details of why did I go down to Chile? Why did I go down to Chile? We got such a huge year this year. We got PTO races. We got an Ironman Pro Series. We got World Championships. We got to race a whole lot. On one hand, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go down there. On the other hand, I think it made a lot of sense. I mean, it made a lot of sense from a business perspective and providing for my family. But let me get into why I had to go down there. And so let me start with a quote first, okay? And this quote is something a Chilean person told me when I was down there. The day after the race, I was going up trying to climb the volcano. I was on my bike. He pulls up in this big white camper van, opens the door. Hey, hop in my van. Hey, hop in my van. And I'm kind of like, yeah, exactly. I'm scratching my head. Like, in the United States, you do not hop in a giant white camper van in the middle of nowhere. But the guy was so nice, and he had the cutest dog smiling. So he says, hop in my van. I hop in his van. Next thing I know, he was in the American military. He had 5 kids. He had climbed up to the top of this volcano 7 times. He tells me, he goes, life is harder than triathlon. Life is harder than triathlon. And that was, I think, the whole reason why I had to go down to Chile, right? Because like life has been harder than triathlon. And since becoming a dad, I've figured out about this. And so because life is harder than triathlon, that's why I had to go down to Chile, okay? So I feel like, you know, my inner spark, my inner power, the power within had kind of been dulled, right? Like I had started to just only say and only think about like the big races. Okay, I gotta just focus on those big races and have a performance on those big races, and that's all that matters. And it doesn't matter where it is, if it's in a beautiful place, if it's a place I want to go, if it's at a time of the year I want to race. Like I just got so bogged down in those details. And then of course, I think once you become a dad, I think a lot of fathers and mothers even, obviously, I think the gender roles can just be swapped. It depends on the thing you're doing. But anyways, I think once you have a kid, you can feel this intense drive and need to provide for your family. And so even though before having Leo, I was providing for me, to a point I was providing for Laura, now I have a need to provide for 3 people. And so it started to maybe impact my decisions of like, everything's just got to be for business. Everything's just got to be for business. Everything's just got to be for business. How much money do I make at that race? How much, basically, what does it provide? And in losing the whole reason I got into triathlon in the first place, which is for fun and to travel and to meet great people and to be out in these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful places, and of course to push my limits. And so the kind people of Chile asked me to come to their race about a month ago, and at first I was like, no, absolutely not. It's not a good, smart business decision. It doesn't make sense financially. And first then they said, okay, well, we'll make it make sense for you financially. So they did make it make sense financially. So then I'm like, okay, well, it makes sense financially, but maybe I still shouldn't go because I should focus on the big races and the PTO races. The PTO races are everything. You can see I'm talking like this because I was actually like a little bit crazy at this time. And then, I sat down and I thought a lot, and I was like, I need something at the start of the year to like renew my enthusiasm for triathlon, to renew my passion and my joy for triathlon. And so I decided to go down there, and it was the absolute best thing I could have done. I went down there, I had the time of my life, I met so many great people, I had so many great conversations. Even just like getting on the plane, I felt like I was myself again, and it felt so good to be myself. And so frankly, that was the goal. The goal of this race wasn't to win. The goal of this race was to go down there and renew my passion, renew my enthusiasm, and get the stoke of life, because the stoke of life is going to carry over to the stoke of racing and great racing. And so that was the entire purpose. Of course, I went down there. I had a phenomenal race. I surprised myself with how fit I was. I'll just give the quick, dirty details of the race. Gun went off, super choppy. We had rain all morning, so pouring wet. Only 2 buoys in the whole swim course, so you got to go like 800 meters out and then make a right turn and then like another 600 meters. So like, I'm feeling like, oh my God, I need my binoculars for this, give me my binoculars. And with a 13-person field, immediately things kind of fell off. The top guys were swimming together. Some of the guys were behind me. So I was like, okay, I'm on my own, but I was mentally prepared for this because the PTO races, that's how Singapore was, and now I am mentally prepared to swim every PTO race on my own, and to know that I can still have a great race even if I'm swimming on my own, if I'm doing my own thing. I just stayed positive. I felt like, my sighting, my navigation, everything was so good. Everything was so smooth. I was like, I am having a great swim. I'm setting myself up. To be honest, I thought I would lose 4.5, 5 minutes, but I wasn't stressed about that. I was like, I've come here, I'm prepared to do that. I'm prepared to be 5 minutes back and still get ahead. I came out, I heard 3:33, and I was like, let's get to work. Long transition. Oh man, we got to run barefoot down this huge long carpet. So anyways, get on my bike. My Wahoo watch fell off, it broke. The strap broke, so that was what I was going to use to capture the bike power data, pace, time, everything. So I had to go freebie. I talked about this on an Instagram post. I just got on. I wanted to go freebie, you see, because when I'm not looking at the power and I'm not looking at the time, I'm focused inwards on myself. I'm focusing and I'm asking myself, how much does this hurt? How painful is this? And can this pain, is it sustainable? Can I keep going at this rate for 2 hours at this pain threshold, at this level of pain? Or can I notch that pain up? Can I twist it? And so I kind of kept twisting it. I was like, I got to get to the front of this race. And right by the turnaround, I started to get to the front of the race. We had kind of all condensed together. Let's just say sometimes the draft rules south of the American border are a little more loose, I'd say, a little more loose, which you just be prepared. Anyways, took a lot of good, hard, strong surging, and finally the rubber band broke. I got away, and then I just did my thing, and that gap balloon surged up to 5 minutes, and then I came in on my own, started the run, and the run was the most spectacular experience ever. The people of Chile, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They came out just in, like, by the hundreds, this tiny little town, but probably 3,000, 5,000, I don't know, tons of spectators, and it's 3 loops. You run through town, and literally everyone's yelling so loud, like you can't even, like your eardrums are like deafening, and it puts this smile on your face. And then you've got, these like Latino women saying like, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Oh my God, Sam, you're crushing it, which it, just makes you smile and laugh. And when you laugh, then you go well in life. And anyways, then you come into what's called the Peninsula, which is the most beautiful place you've ever run. It's also the hardest. You have to go up these huge hills, but you're getting great views of the lake. You're getting people dressed up as bananas who are like running out right in front of you. And it's just like, okay, this is really awesome. This is really awesome. And then you have to do these big downhills, which rip your legs off. And these beautiful pink flowers. You're just looking at these pink flowers, and I just thought, like, wow, this, again, to bring it back home, it made me so stoked for the life I have, for the job I get to call a career. And it made me smile, and it made me like, okay, I am stoked for this year. So we did 3 loops of that, got to the finish line, obviously had a fun finish line and finished the race. That was the race. And now I'm back, and I'm really looking forward to big racing. But let me talk about now some of the issues, not issues, but things, right? Once you have a kid, like, I wish I could go back to when I didn't have a kid, because now that I've had a kid, like, I feel like I've gotten so efficient with my life. I've gotten so good at, and I'm still maybe, I don't know, 50% of where I need to be, but you learn how to be way more efficient, how to cut things out. A dad, I'm learning to do more with less, right? I've got less time, less resources, and yet I need to do more. I need to spend more time with the family. I have to sleep less. I have to spend more time with Leo. Like, all these things, you have to do more with less. And so if I could go back, like, I think I would think, wow, my life is so easy, and I would have been able to find a higher level of performance. But another one of the big things we're debating, and I want you guys all to chime in on this, who has experience, who doesn't have experience, even for age groupers. I think you guys deal with this if you're really competitive, is do I bring the family with me to these PTO races, right? Like, do I bring them as an athlete? Like, you know, you're used to things a certain way, and you feel like, okay, can I add in this extra stress? Can I add in all the extra variables? Of course, you're like, wow, I want to have, you know, there's nothing better than winning in front of your fiance and your baby, but you just feel you come back to that need to provide. And okay, if it's going to take it away, then how do I provide? And so this is the conversation our family is having, a big conversation we're having. And of course, they're going to be at some. We're trying to figure out how many, and I'll be honest, we're still in the evolution of it, so I don't have the answers yet. And yeah, just kind of rethinking my whole life. I've retrained. I changed my weekly training structure, so my hours have come down a few hours because, again, do more with less. Do more with less. And so the hours came down, but I've added in actually more intervals and a little more structure so that I'm a little more, and it seems to be working, right? I had a fantastic race. I think I was in great fitness, and so I'm just looking forward ahead now. I'm having a week easy, very easy to kind of reset and to make sure I can peak again for the big races when it matters. So that's that. Yeah, life is harder than a triathlon. Let's just laugh at that, you know. And it's great to be in great form and feeling like I'm starting to get a hang on things, and that I've got the stoke for life back to set me up for a great year. So thank you. If you're from Chile and watching this, thank you so much for giving me such a spectacular week, for reminding me of why I got into this in the first place, and that the sky is the limit, that the moon is the limit. And if you're a long-time watcher, well, thanks for following on the journey. We've got highs and we've got lows, and we'll see you at the next one. Cheers. Yo, yo, yo.